Would you like to get your hands on one of the smoothest, most delicious, amber, boozy, vanilla fragrances ever created? Then keep watching. Listen, I don't even know how it's possible that I haven't reviewed this yet, because this is literally in my top 10 favorites forever. It's not going to go anywhere. As long as this thing is in production, I will see to it that I have a bottle of this in my possession. I hope that that's understood. Released in 2016, Mason Francis Kirchen yet again blessed us with his artistry. And for all of you out there that don't really find MFK, the House of MFK, all that appealing, or don't find it all that challenging or whatever, that's great. That's all well and dandy. You're entitled to your opinion. But I will say this. Francis Kirchen has created some of the greatest masterpieces of all time, and he, from his house alone, has 3 that would make it in my top 25 of all time. Baccarat Rouge 540, A Piece of Me Pour Homme, and the topic at hand today would most definitely make it into my top 10, and that is, of course, Grand Soir. Grand Soir consists of vanilla, amber, labdanum, tonka bean, and I get kind of a little bit of a clean musky accord in there, but it's not listed. But primarily I would say that this is a very boozy, rich, smooth, amber vanilla with a hint of tonka bean. Do I feel like this is the best amber fragrance ever created? No. And in fact, I hardly even consider this to be an amber fragrance. If I'm being honest, when I smell amber, I think of like resinous, sappy, sticky, okay? A little bit of stick to it. A little bit of stick to it. This is just refined, smooth, elegant, sexy, unisex, lush masterpiece. Okay, that's what this is. And if we're being honest, I get more of a vanilla out of it than I do an amber. So for me, amber is very much like the cedar chip, sappy feeling fragrance, kind of like Tom Ford's Amber Absolute, or a number of other fragrances that I could rattle off the top of my head. You know, you have Serge Lutens' Ambre Sultan, which has kind of like a warm, sappy plant smell to it, on top of all the like woody nuances and incensey nuances. One of my personal favorites is DS and Durga's Amber Teutonic, which is very much a maple sap and woody incensey amber. But my favorite amber fragrance of all time, as of late, as of the last year, is Rania J's Ambre Loup, which when I got my hands on this shit, I was just blown away. Yeah, you can't fuck with this. You just can't fuck with this. Nothing touches this as far as amber goes. But again, this to me, this beautiful little devil here, it's not an amber scent to me. I think we all know that like there's quite a few people that embellish how often they get complimented by strangers, etc. But it is fairly common if you're like approachable and well put together or whatever. It's not uncommon to get an unsolicited compliment on your fragrance. I mean, it happens to me all the fucking time. But this stuff is on a whole other level. I remember even just being in like this little hippie shop up here in Rochester, New York. It's like a head shop. Nah, it's not really a head shop. It's more like a hippie shop. It's got incense sticks, and you know, it's got the Palo Santo wood and sage and whatever. You know, and you got a bunch of fucking tie-dye merchandise, right? A bunch of fucking the Grateful Dead bullshit. So I was in there, I don't know, probably 8 months ago. And, well, no, it was longer than that because it was before quarantine. So it was last winter before quarantine. And I was wearing this, and I was just kind of on a little lunch date. And I can't believe how often this fragrance just turns heads. The woman at the counter, when we were checking out, said that she absolutely had to get her hands on it. I told her what the name of it was, and she's like, what? You know, of course people do that. Like, what? Oh, it's French. I can't pronounce it. So I wrote it down for her, and who knows if she ever got it. She probably saw the price tag on it, was like, fuck that. But, you know, general public, typically speaking, I would say, wouldn't go for spending upwards anywhere between $200 to $400 on Grand Soir. But rest assured, I will. I will. I went through my other 70 ml bottle over the 3 years that I had owned it, and I just picked up this good old-fashioned lad right here, the 6.8 ounce, the 200 ml bottle. I want to say probably back in October, and I've put a nice little chunk in it, you know, already. I mean, when you have a fragrance collection and you have that much gone in just the span of a couple months, you know that it's like a favorite. And for me, this is like a masterpiece. So really what I get out of this is a really delicate, almost dessert-like tonka bean, very creamy. That's the underlayer or the backbone to a very gooey, I'll call it gooey. It's not sticky, but it's like gooey, mouth-watering amber vanilla. And it comes across as being very much like a dessert. I don't really get any woods out of this whatsoever. I don't really get any incense out of this. This is basically, yeah, oh my God. This is basically just like one of the most masterfully created vanilla scents, if I was to put it bluntly. This to me hardly screams amber, although it's a huge factor in it. It's just a very smooth, there's no rough edges, there's hardly any woodiness, there's hardly any incense, and for me, it almost comes off like a chocolatey vibe, like a very rich chocolate liqueur, and really it dances well with the other notes in the fragrance and just makes it all come together very cohesively. And it doesn't even seem like there's that many transitions in the fragrance. Practically what you spray initially is what you're going to get all the way at the end of the life of the fragrance. Being that this stuff for me is like a Swiss Army knife, I'm going to go through it way quicker than someone who might consider this only a elegant, refined, upper class event type fragrance. For me, I feel like this is worthy of being called a signature scent. I wouldn't necessarily wear it a ton in the summertime. You know, in the summertime, if you wanted, like, say you wanted 2 or 3 fragrances to hold you over for the entire year, you only want 3 bottles, right? And at that point, you're sparing no expense because it's just a couple bottles, so you can go niche, you can go high-end designer, whatever. I would wholeheartedly, strongly consider it'd probably be between this and Tonka Imperial for Guerlain, from Guerlain, which would end up being my winter fall fragrance, you know. And this stuff to me comes across, because it is so smooth, as being just a really nice, sexy, everyday fragrance, very confident fragrance. But I could see how some people would only consider wearing this for, like, I don't know, something special, a special occasion, a night out at a, you know, Michelin star restaurant, or seeing some kind of like orchestra or something like that, where you're a little bit more dressed up, semi-formal, suit, whatever. But for me, completely unisex, man, woman, doesn't matter. Fucking wear what you like anyways. Who cares what anybody else says? That's what this whole thing is all about. Like, life in general. Like, you should be enjoying yourself and enjoy your life. So if that means that you're wearing a marketed fragrance for a man, but you're a woman, or vice versa, then who cares? Does it bring you joy and happiness? Then do it. 100% to me, this is something that I would wear anytime I like, because I just love it that much. It's something I've already gone through a whole 70 ml bottle of in just a few years. And this stuff is just going to be a part of my collection forever. I mean, the projection is crazy on this. The longevity is 10 plus hours. The smoothness and richness of the fragrance is just like next to none. It's so good. It's so freaking good. I'd be hard pressed to tell you any other fragrances that are kind of in the same realm of that category of fragrance that do a much better job. You know, I could compare it to Spiritueux Double Vanille or Tonkin Imperial or Fève Delicious, which I don't like Fève Delicious nearly as much as the ones that I just mentioned prior to it. But it's in that same vein, that same category to my nose. It's very much a refined gourmand, and I think it's stunning. And frankly, whether or not you think so, and like you hate it or it's too sickly sweet or whatever, this is one of the most mass appealing niche fragrances I have ever gotten my hands on. I would say that it's up there with, you know, New Harlem level of complimentary factor, where you just have these unsolicited comments or questions as to what it is that you're rocking for the day, which in my mind is a nice added bonus. Obviously, it's not the end all be all, but it is nice. It's nice to be like, yeah, you look good today, you smell good today, yeah, oh, give me my boost, give me my serotonin boost, right? It's great. So Grand Soir has so many memories attached for me. I found this, I guess, 4 years ago. It was my first year back at the college that I'd gone to previously before I went to University of Buffalo. And I just found a lot of great people, a lot of great friendships. I wore this quite a lot through making one of my first films that I ever made coming back here. And just like a lot of great memories with like bonfires and concerts and stuff like that, being outdoors, because this is very much a fragrance that fills a room. So you have to be careful on the trigger with this if you're going to go to a setting like a classroom or a cubicle or something like that at work. I think that if you were to do that in particular, you would go like 1-2 sprays max. But I'm kind of a happy trigger man myself, and I usually go about 4 or 5 sprays with this stuff. And I am very self-aware though. You know, I'm not going to spray this 5 times and then go hop in a car with somebody. That'd just be rude, because honestly the sillage and the cloud that this creates in general is just pretty massive for the first couple hours. But then it becomes pretty close, and you just have a nice little sillage, nice little bubble to draw those people in. Grand Soir is a masterpiece. Solid 10 out of 10. I'm gonna go ahead and just say it like it's a 10 out of 10. It's my favorite fragrance by Francis Kirchen. It has been for a long time, and it's always gonna be in my top 10 favorites of all time, I think. And it's gonna constantly have a place on my shelf for it, because it's delicious and it makes me feel good. It makes me feel happy. It makes me feel productive. It makes me feel sexy. It makes me feel like I can accomplish anything. And if something is capable of doing that, then why not wear it? So there you go. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all check out Grand Soir if you have not. I know I'm really late to the game with reviewing this one, but I don't know how I haven't reviewed it, because it's like just one of my all-time favorites. So here we are. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that you're all doing well and taking care of yourselves. Sometimes it's okay to put yourself first. We can't help others if we don't help ourselves, right? So I'm hoping that 2021 is going to be a wonderful year for everybody, that you have wonderful, enriching, loving memories with your people that you're close to, and that we can all pursue that wonderful thing called happiness together. And yeah. Grand Soir. Check it out.